stash Brandon Allen on the practice squad once the season starts. No one will put him on their 53-man roster.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. Brandon Allen, go look. Here, I'm going to name for
Brandon
you.
Allen's got some experience, man.
Yeah,
he's
Brandon Allen.
He
started 9 games or whatever.
Round third string quarterback. Brandon Allen was Joe Burrow's backup. Okay, so that's why. Again, and I'm glad that D2 brought this comment up. Is that leads to kind of where we kind of build the narrative through the money, Larry. Right? Is that if you look at it from experience, from actual play on field and time on task and pedigree, Brandon Allen honestly is kind of the perfect third string quarterback. He really is. That's why we're looking at Trey and Sam as kind of the outliers in our affordable quarterback room, because that's really where the expense is. We have the most affordable quarterback room when you add Brock and Brandon, but really the $15 million, the $14 million in our quarterback room this year is wrapped up in our number two spot with 2 guys there. So that's what we're really looking at. Whereas, are we saying, yeah, the Niners, they say that, oh, we've got the best quarterback room in the league. We got this is a good problem to have. Well, fiscally, is it really a good problem to have? And are they going to eat that? Are they going to eat that $14 million to keep all these guys and cut an asset in Brandon Allen, which to D2's comment, he won't make a practice squad. He'll get picked up. Quarterback.
Yeah, let me give you an idea. Let me name you the third string quarterbacks in the NFC, and you tell me if Brandon Allen would have a job. Philly's third is Tanner McKee. Kansas City, by the way, just since they're the Super Bowl champion, their third quarterback is Shane Buechele. The Rams' third quarterback is Brett Rippon.
Is that Mark? Is he kin to Mark?
I'm not. He might be related to Mark. Mark was much bigger. This guy's smaller. But he played at Boise. Holton Ahlers from East Carolina is Seattle's probably number 3 behind Drew Lock and Geno. Clayton Tune is Arizona's 3. Dallas's 3 is Will Greer. Green Bay's 3 right now is Danny Etling. New York Giants number 3 is Tommy DeVito. Detroit's 3 is probably going to be Hendon Hooker. Tampa's 3. He's number 3, and they also have Adrian Martinez out of K-State, the former Nebraska transfer. Tampa's 3 is John Wofford. Minnesota's 3 is Jaron Hall from BYU. Atlanta's 3 is a guy named Logan Woodside. Wouldn't know him if you walked in the door.
Who's that?
Yeah, exactly. That's old man Woodside's kid.
Yeah.
Carolina's
Woodside boys over there across the tracks. Them Woodside boys, they're real good.
Yeah. Who's Logan Woodside? Oh, yeah, if you don't know who he is, that's old man Woodside's boy.
Yeah, that's Woodside boy. You know what I'm saying? Used to play over there for the Panthers.
Carolina's 3 is Matt Corral. It's probably the best of the group.
Yeah.
Bears 3 is Nathan Peterman. New Orleans 3 is Jake Haener. Washington's 3 is Jake Fromm. I mean, you could make an argument that Brandon Allen is the most accomplished third string quarterback that exists. So, and this idea that Brandon Allen, who last year made $1 million to back up Joe Burrow and has $1 million salary if he makes the Niners roster, I'll say this. I think there is 0 chance that Brandon Allen winds up on the practice squad. I think he's here as the third string quarterback, or he's cut at the deadline and then signed somewhere else for the league minimum, which would be about $750 to be somebody else's third string quarterback. I think he gambled on himself. I think he's saying, you know what? Brock's hurt. Trey's an unknown. Sam Darnold? Really? Let me get in that room with Kyle Shanahan and all those weapons, and I'll take a chance. And if I make the team, I make $1 million. If I don't make the team, I get cut, and I wind up somewhere else for $750.
Yeah, I'm the hardest.
He ain't making $200.
Backup quarterback in the league if I get cut.
I mean, think about it. You're a married man, right?
No.
Okay, I'm a married man. If I come home and I told my wife, hey, you know what? I made a business decision and I've cost us $800,000. I was going to make $1 million or at least, $750,000, $800 to be somebody's number 3, but I decided to go to San Francisco and now I'm going to sit on the practice squad. So what are you making, honey? I'm going to make $207,000. You're sleeping outside with Hannibal.
You're sleeping outside.
You're sleeping outside. You're not taking $207,000 to be on the Niners practice squad. There's no chance in hell. No chance.
You know what? And this is what's great about these conversations, Larry, is because we can kind of cut through the bullshit when we get to the money, right? If
money talks.
If you get to the money, the narratives kind of take care of themselves, right? And there's just no way that Brandon Allen is going to take that much of a beating. He's going to take a shellacking.
$835,000 haircut to be on the Niners practice squad when he was Joe Burrow's backup last year? No way. No chance.
No way.
Yeah,
so
no chance.
That right there is
tells you a lot.
It tells you so much that Brandon Allen is locked in to be the number 3. And if he's not, he knows that he can take that and go right back and go make that money, right? Yeah. He can go make that. But the real deal is the $9 million attached to Trey and the $5 million attached to Sam. That's the real deal.
Right. Block out Brandon Allen. He's either here as the third string or he's somewhere else as a third string. He won't be the practice squad insurance policy. It's great for us. If you're a Niner fan, we'd all love it. A super experienced guy who was a number 2 last year, and he's the 4th string guy in the practice squad. That's a pipe dream. It's not happening. It won't happen. It's not going to happen.
I love that where it is a pipe dream. It's a pipe dream.
No way it's happening. And to me, we can also, if you're a Trey fan and be like, you know what, Trey's got to play. That's great. But if the reality is that unless we've been given the misdirection of misdirections by Kyle, by John, by Jed, by all these insiders, I think it's safe to say, and I think we all kind of know, that Brock Purdy's going to be the starter if he's healthy at the beginning of the year. So Brock's going to be the 1. Brandon Allen's going to be the number 3 or somebody else's number 3. He won't be on the practice squad. And it really crystallizes this quarterback competition as Sam Darnold versus Trey Lance. And if you ask me, I think all 4 quarterbacks are going to play pretty well and look pretty good. And then it's going to come down to nobody's going to be willing to if Trey looks pretty good, I don't think anybody's going to trade for him at $9 million. But if Sam looks pretty good, I think you could still trade him. And Green Bay and probably a couple other teams would say, hey, give him to me. And I think there's a very good chance that you may see the 49ers in August not just trade a Sam Darnold, but maybe trade a Sam Darnold, maybe trade, there's talk that if Jack Coletto, the undrafted rookie free agent, if he doesn't make the team, that some team may give the Niners a day 3 pick for Coletto. Zane Gonzalez, the backup kicker, if Jake Moody beats him out, you may see him flipped for a day 3 pick. There's a couple other guys, maybe Kinlaw, maybe Ambry Thomas, maybe a receiver.
Let me ask you this, Larry.
I think you may see the Niners bolster their inventory of 2024 draft picks on day 3 in August at the cutdown by kind of saying, here, you want Zane Gonzalez, blankety blank team, give us a 7th. Hey, you want Jack Coletto, Dallas Cowboys? Give us a 7th.
I mean, honestly, the Niners have shown.
I think they might do that.
In a way, if you look through patterns, the Niners have done they've done an exceptional job with how they utilize free agency with their players, especially how they ingest certain players where by the time it's time to either let them go, move them, or trade them, they're either getting compensatory picks or compensation for them. The Niners have done a phenomenal. I mean, I really tip my hat to John Lynch on that front.
I agree. Just to add to that, I think the Niners coach have one of the best. I think they're handling free agency the best. Why? Because they finally get it. If you sign a bunch of guys that are similar to the guys you have, you got bad vibes. You got guys who are pissed off. You're like, hey, you're going to pay some guy from Denver to come in here when I'm sitting right here and he's making more. So I think Lynch has taken this different stance of we're only going to go for
guys that overshoot the mark.
and guys who are difference makers. Like you can pay Charvarius Ward, Mooney Ward more than the other corners. Why? Because he's better. You can
Way
pay Javon Hargrave more than some of the other D linemen. Why? Because he's better. You don't have locker room issues paying Mooney or Hargrave. You have locker room issues when you sign a bunch of free agents and they start making more than the guys who you drafted. Then you got bad vibes. And then in addition, the Niners are signing one free agent, letting 3 or 4 walk, and taking those compensatory picks. They're going to have 3 in next year's draft. I think they had 3 or 4 in this year's draft. I think that's the way to do it. I really do.
No, I agree with you. It's a method that you use where one hand washes the other, so to speak. And one thing that that a lot of teams in the NFL do, and I don't expect fans to understand this. It's a fan like myself, is these locker rooms are filled with human beings,
right? And there's a lot of pettiness too. I mean,
there's tons of
there's a lot of, hey man, look what he's getting, look what I'm getting.
It's a lot of
on the bad teams, at least.
It's a lot of pocket watching, especially on the bad teams. And there's only but so much money to go around, and yeah, you can call a guy your leader, but really how a guy gets paid is how a lot of men try to figure out who's the leader and how the organization feels about certain people. And I feel like the Niners, not only it makes no mistake. There's no mistake that all of the Niners leaders are like not, just some, leaders in spirit, but they get paid like leaders. They get paid like they're the best players on the team, right? So, yeah, I do agree with how the Niners go about free agency and handle their business. It's very savvy, and over time, you have to look at the pattern, right? In the same way that we can notice patterns with our struggles with the quarterback situation, we can take that same eye and put it on patterns that we see with how we have ingested good free agency tactics. So I'm pleased with what we've done free agency wise. And I think it's going to keep going. This is something else that I kind of ran into is what happens if Sam and Trey, you keep them both.
They can afford to do that if they want to do it.
Right. Because if you look at it this way, if they keep them both, right, you could still trade them. Trade deadline's not until what, week 6?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know. It might be even later. Later.
I think it may be a little bit later. So you could still.
Yeah. So you could do it. You could hedge, especially if Brock, if you're, let's say Brock plays decent, or let's say Brock can't play in the preseason. Mm-hmm. Or let's say they opt to not play him, or let's say they still have some concerns about the elbow. Then you want as many guys as possible. But the idea that you can like have 4, you can't have 4. You're going to have 3. So you're either cutting Brandon Allen and going with very expensive backup room.
He's not good enough. He's not going to be anything. He's not going to be good enough to just sit on a practice squad all year and just wait to be called on. That's not happening.